The year I was drowning in debt. I met Adrian at the height of his power. The first thing he said was that he wanted to keep me, because I looked 70% like his first love. Staring at his face, I froze for a second, then said yes. At the start he would slide an arm around my waist and murmur against my ear, "Lily, you know blue sky and white clouds are meant to be together." Those were the moments I clung to most while I was with him. But it wasn't long before his first love, Lily Sterling, came back. I became the human shield, Lily's stand-in, taking every knife aimed at her from his mother and from the tabloids. This time I finally found the strength to let go of that face. Identical to William's. I took Caldwell's check and walked away without a backward glance. When I came back, William's hand in mine, and we passed Adrian. The man literally came unglued. "Molly, 50 million. Take it and stay away from Adrian." In the cafe, Adrian's mother, dressed in quiet tweed, stared at me with swollen, chilly eyes. Did I really want to leave him? Adrian's not-so-gentle features flashed through my mind. Ping. WhatsApp. "So Lily's back. How much longer are you going to keep pretending? Take your meds. Don't vomit it on me." A bitter laugh slipped out. Ever since the Sterling heiress returned, Adrian would hold me, then coolly remind me I was nothing but Lily's copy. From that day on I took the heat for every scandal Lily stirred up, pelted by reporters, spat on by strangers. Night after night I replayed insults meant for her and cried until I almost blacked out. Fresh from a cyber lynching, I left my therapist's office and walked home, only to hear strange, ragged moans from the bedroom. My legs gave way. I sank onto the sofa. I don't know how long I sat there before the door finally opened. Adrian strolled out, arm around a flushed Lily. She eased out of his grip and sauntered toward me, hips swaying. While I sat frozen, she fisted my hair and yanked so hard I whimpered, head forced back. I didn't dare speak. Part of Adrian's obsession with Lily was her cruelty, her reckless madness. I braced for whatever came next. She studied my face with contempt, snickered, then let go. Still catching my breath, I heard her coo to Adrian, "Huijing, this stand-in's face does have, 1/10 of my beauty. She's lasted this long, must be because she knows some tricks in bed, right?" My heart lurched. I looked at Adrian, trembling. He ignored my silent plea, gazing at Lily with pure fondness. "She's nowhere near you, just a toy for the moment." Lily pouted, "Well, check for yourself. How else will I know you're not just soothing me?" Adrian gave a helpless shake of his head, and dread iced my veins. I felt dead inside. The next second he dragged me into the bedroom, blind to my terror, deaf to my sobs. Lily's shrill laughter rang out behind us. Click. The door shut. He hurled me onto the rumpled, sour-smelling bed they'd just vacated. I scrambled up, gagging, tears streaming, and grabbed his hand as it went to his belt. "Adrian, please." He said nothing, only watched me like a cat with a mouse. "TSK." Lily's sneer cut through the air. "Disgusting much? You're just a dog we keep. Quit playing the innocent daisy." The words landed. Adrian flung my arm away and slammed me back on the mattress. I stared up at him, numb, tears soaking the sheet. Tonight he was feverish, eager to show his new pet how little the old toy mattered. Ha! 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 Lily's laughter rose higher. The flash popped again and again while shameful photos snowed onto the bed. "They left long ago. Only dazed me remains. And photos strewn like dead leaves." Lily's parting jeer. "I thought you had some fight. Lay there like a corpse. Boring." Echoes nonstop in my ears. That night happened to be the anniversary of my parents' death. In the crash Mom had shielded me. Since then I've been alone with nothing but a bankrupt company. I cried until my teeth ached and my eyes burned nearly shut. Near dawn, after forever, I texted Adrian, "Huijing, my tooth hurts." Only today did he bother to answer. "So Lily's back. How much longer are you going to keep pretending? Take your meds. Don't vomit it on me." You hogged Lily's spot for ages. Save the sob story. I didn't hesitate. I took the check Caldwell held out. Tears spilled down her cheeks. "He's my only son. I can't watch him sink any lower. If there were another way I wouldn't separate you two." She paused. "You know why he always calls you Lily, not Molly?" I smiled sweetly. "Caldwell, I don't blame you. I've always known." I turned to go, then stopped and looked back at her wan face. "Thanks for the seed money." 3 years later my company is about to go public. I fly home with William, my boyfriend, that evening, his hand in mine. I run straight into Adrian. The once icy depths of his eyes now hold a trace of melancholy. He grabs my left hand. Thrilled. "Lily, it really is you." I shake him off, exactly the way he once shook off my pleading hand on that bed. "Wrong girl. I'm Molly." Life drains from his gaze. Noticing William, he pulls his old haughtiness back on. "What? Can't get over me so you cloned a stand-in?" I burst out laughing. "Excuse me. This is my first love." William joins in, amused. "Some people really can't read the room." Adrian gapes, temples throbbing. I pull the $60 million check I prepared from my bag and tuck it it into his shirt. Now we're square. Tell your mom I'm genuinely grateful. If she hadn't bankrolled me, I'd still be ruined. I turn to leave. He catches my hand, almost begging Molly. Don't you remember? Blue sky and white clouds are meant to be together. We're fate. I peel his fingers off, one by one, and look down at him to grow up. I was just a stand-in. Before he can answer, I tuck my arm through William's and walk away. Head high, I leave him frozen on the sidewalk. Blue sky and white clouds are meant to be together. Sure, but I was born with eyes that cry too easily. In the car, William strokes my cheek. You're really not going back to him? The ugly memories slammed into me. My brows knitted tight. Yeah. I looked straight into the soft shine of his eyes. I've always loved you. You know that. His ears went scarlet. He dropped his gaze, started the engine, and headed for home. I was half asleep in the passenger seat when he finally whispered, I've always loved you too, always. The corner of my mouth twitched. I kept faking sleep. The morning our company went public, he and I showed up in full gala armor. At the press call, I kept feeling one pair of icy eyes lasered on me, but I never bothered to locate them. I was slipping backstage to wait while he hit the restroom when she stepped in front of me, face like a thundercloud. Chin lifted. She sneered. Long time no see, little stand-in. Oh, I hadn't even gone hunting and the prey delivered itself. I arched one brow. Shouldn't you be busy worshipping your precious Adrian? What brings you to my corner? You. She stamped her heel, cheeks flaming. Don't think hiring some decoy will make him love you. Adrian has always been mine. A short laugh burst out of me. Crack. The slap rang sharp against her cheek. I exhaled. 3 years of waiting, and I'd finally returned the favor. Sweet. You hit me. She clutched her face. Stunned. Her hand flew up for payback. I caught her wrist midair. Still think you're entitled to swing at me? Crack. Second helping. Other cheek. She shrieked. Helpless. Furious. I tilted my head, enjoying the view. When she finally ran out of breath, I spoke slowly. Adrian was the stand-in. Starting today. So are you, mine. I bit down on the last 2 words. Her pupils shook, complexion darkening another shade. Footsteps sounded behind me. I turned, took his hand, and walked out. We were almost at the exit when her hysterical scream tore through the corridor. He glanced at me, worried. That was her. The one you told me about? I nodded. They never really hurt you, right? I gave him my sunniest smile. Nope. He didn't press. He just squeezed my fingers tighter. Everything was on script, until I learned Adrian had graduated to smacking his own mother. When I reached the penthouse, Caldwell was slumped on the sofa, bruised and swollen. I spoke softly. I'm here, ma'am. Tears streaked her face. Her voice cracked with shame. I drove you away, and the moment you come back I drag you to the, I waved it off and helped her up. Without the 30 million you gave me, I wouldn't own a single headline today. At the hospital, she told me the beating was about me, because I'd handed Adrian that check. He blamed her for my exit and unloaded his rage on her. I couldn't sit still. Ma'am, I never thought he'd raise a hand to you. She cut me off with a sigh. It's not your fault. After you left, he picked fights every few days. Sometimes locked me inside. He's been itching to hit me for months. Caldwell clasped my hand, eyes glassy. I misjudged you. Only after you disappeared did I find out she'd slithered back. Before I could answer, boom, the door flew open. Adrian filled the frame, smile cold. I knew you'd show. He snatched my wrist and hauled me into the hallway. Let go. Adrian, stop. Don't do something insane. Caldwell yelled after us, gasping. He never answered, just dragged me through the lobby. I begged strangers. No one dared step in. Outside, he clicked the fob, shoved me into the back seat, jumped in, and hit the child lock. I scrambled backward. He cradled my face, eyes wild. Molly, I know Zoe hunted you down. She used to toy with you. She won't bother you again. The grin he wore was pure horror. That guy's just a prop to spite me. Right. Let's go back to the way we were. I ignored his raving. The promise that Zoe would never bother me again iced my spine. Where is she? Realization hit. No wonder a sick mind like his fell for a vicious psycho like her. He hugged me so hard my ribs creaked. We'll be together forever. A shudder rippled through me, but I kept my voice flat. I want out. Now. He sat back, annoyance flashing. Quit the drama. Louder. Let me out. Bang bang bang. Someone hammered the window. She said get out. Are you deaf? It was him. Adrian's eyes narrowed to slits. Crash. He'd scooped a rock and shattered the glass. On the curb he hung his head. Sorry. I followed you. When you said you were driving Adrian's mom here, I was scared. I was still crying when I crashed into his chest. Doesn't matter. You came. He lifted me gently. I'll always come. Even after we were home. My pulse wouldn't settle. A woman who chanted sutras and donated millions had raised a full-blown psychopath. And his promise, she'll never bother you again, kept looping in my skull. I'd braced for Zoe's next scheme. Suddenly, I almost pitied her. From that night on, I scrapped any plan to face Adrian head-on. Sane people can't outfight crazy. I thought staying low would keep me safe. I'd forgotten Zoe's bedroom photos were still in his phone. One quiet month later, a strange number pinged me on WhatsApp. Molly, pretty sure you don't want these bedroom shots on the internet. Several pics popped up, me glassy-eyed, naked, hair tangled, tears soaking the sheets. My vision tunneled. My thumbs shook so hard I typed. Deleted. Retyped. What do you want? Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Come to the roof of my house in Golden. Or I send everything to the media. I'm sure you know who I am. My palms were slick with sweat. After a long moment, eyes squeezed shut, I typed a single reply of fine. I opened the chat with Lucas on WhatsApp, thumb hovering, ready to tell him everything. But I hesitated. I'd never told him any of this, only that I'd once been someone's stand-in. Would he still want me if he knew the rest? Lucas had been buried at the office the last 2 nights, crashing on the couch there, so I didn't worry about him noticing. I told myself I could handle it alone, and with that brittle hope I drifted into a restless sleep. The next evening, I pulled up to Adrian's villa in Golden at exactly 8, heart hammering. I pushed the front door open and a cloud of dust hit me in the face. Cough, cough. I doubled over, hacking, then forced myself farther inside. Let me out. I'm so hungry. A faint voice drifted from the basement as I reached the stairwell. Curiosity won. I cracked the door. A skeletal figure, skin split with wounds and eyes bulging, scrabbled toward the light. Ah! I yelped. The plank slipped from my hand and the door slammed shut again. My lungs froze. I stood rooted. That walking skeleton was that Iris Sterling. A wave of ice swept from my scalp to my heels. I whirled to leave. My phone rang. Same unknown number. Why aren't you upstairs? Don't want those photos anymore? I bit down panic and started climbing. Give me 2 minutes. Adrian was leaning against the parapet when I stepped onto the roof. Head bowed in thought. He snapped his chin up. A hungry spark flared in his eyes and he crushed me to him. Molly, you finally came. I shoved him off. The photos, hand them over. Now. He flashed a wicked grin. Photos. You really thought I'd give them to you? His fingers locked around my arm. Molly, this time I'm never letting you go. Rage shot through me. I spat full in his face. Bastard. Adrian chuckled, wiped his cheek with a monogrammed handkerchief, then slipped an arm under my knees to lift me. I drove my stiletto into his instep. He snarled, slammed my head against the wall. You dare stomp me, bitch. Blood filled my mouth. As the world blurred, Adrian's grip loosened. I slid down the bricks. Through fluttering lids I saw Lucas tackle him. Adrian spat blood, seized Lucas by the collar, snarling, if I go down, we both die. Darkness swallowed me. Lucas. I bolted upright, heart racing. Lucas eased me back against the pillows, eyes soft with worry. I'm right here. Only then did I breathe again. Why did you come? I told you to call the cops. His gaze was a tangle of love and fear. I couldn't leave you. Yes, I'd confessed everything to Lucas in the end. I hadn't wanted a showdown, but in this city one of us had to leave. It was Adrian's own text that handed me the opening, though it shamed me. I told Lucas everything. I'd only meant for him to phone the police. Instead, he beat them there. Luckily, firefighters had an air mattress spread below. Adrian went down for invasion of privacy, attempted murder, and unlawful imprisonment of 15 years. Iris Sterling starved to death before help arrived. When detectives knocked on the Sterling's door, her pampered parents wept until they could barely stand. 3 months later, Lucas and I got married. Lucas, my first love. Freshman year, I'd spotted him across the quad, book-scented and brilliant, and launched a hopeless crusade. My final confession came over WhatsApp. For 10 minutes there was no reply. Just as I gave up, 3 gray dots appeared. I like you too. I almost screamed. While I hunted for words, another block of text popped up. I know the gap between us looks huge. I don't have money yet, but my grades are solid. I'll catch up. Please don't look down on me. So that was it. He'd held back because he felt unworthy. Later, every time I wired cash or bought him pricey gear, he sent it back. He'd level those clear eyes at me and say, I've got enough. Mom says a guy doesn't spend a girl's money. I still see that face when I close my eyes. But senior year his thesis project failed, and he left me with only a note. Molly, I'm not good enough for you. I thought I'd lost him forever. 3 years ago, at a charity gala overseas, I spotted him holding court among billionaires. Radiant. Afterward, tears rolled down my cheek cheeks. Why did you run? I kept showing you I didn't care about money. His own tears threatened to spill. I didn't dare believe your hints. That night he kissed me until we were both breathless. When he learned my parents were gone and the company bankrupt, he brushed my trembling lip. Molly, let me be the one to steady you. At the reception I caught Caldwell watching from across the lawn. I tugged Lucas over, apology ready, but she spoke first. No sorries. I understand, if you hadn't acted, Adrian would have locked you away. Her eyes reddened. It's my fault. His father died young. I smothered him with love until it poisoned him. She talked until her voice cracked, then walked alone into the dusk. Months later I saw her on the news. She donated every dollar and taken vows in a convent. The camera caught her smiling like a woman newly born. After Dad died, Mom clung to me harder, sweeter. I learned the rule she lived by: whatever I wanted, the world would yield. At 20, good girl me met wild Iris Sterling. Her reckless fire lured me in. I pursued her until she was mine. Her tantrums thrilled me. The way she laughed when blood spattered her windshield, the sting when she bit my lip, every savage bit of her addicted me. I found myself needing her more every day. The year I turned 22, I asked her to marry me, but she actually got mad. Just because I hadn't staged some over-the-top proposal. Wasn't she already mine? This time I didn't go coax her. Sooner or later we'd sign that meaningless red sheet anyway. Yet she slipped out of the country without a word. Back in the bedroom I smashed everything that reminded me of her, then hired men to tail her. Every time, she slipped away perfectly. After half a month it hit me. This time she might really be gone. I think I've fallen in love with her. Lost for 6 months. My mother finally snapped and told me to get out more. I dragged myself outside. And that same day I ran into a woman who looked like Claire Sterling, but felt nothing like her. She was weeping on the curb, so I gently offered a tissue. How about letting me keep you? $70,000 a month. She jerked her tear-stained face up. Seeing Claire's features streaked with tears tugged at something inside me. I spelled it out. Patient, you're 7/10 my ex. She stared, then nodded. Watching how docile she was gave me a huge rush of satisfaction. This woman behaved far better than Claire ever had. I showered on her every ounce of longing and guilt I'd stored up for Claire. I learned she suffered from depression. I took her to see my therapist again and again, talked her through every spiral, held her tight whenever she broke down. She grew clingier by the day. One afternoon I passed a boutique window and spotted the white sundress Claire hated most. I bought it on the spot. Back home, Molly lit up when she saw it. How did you know I love this style? Smiling, I slipped the dress over her head. In front of the mirror I circled her waist and whispered against her ear, Claire, you know blue sky and white clouds are meant to be together. She had always known my first love was Claire Sterling. She never flinched at the new pet name. She only nestled happily against my shoulder. Her meekness pleased me. Not long after, Claire finally came back. Adrian, I forgive you. Come get me. I'm at Starlight. I was shopping with Molly when the message pinged in. I glanced at the fitting room curtain and bolted, so my heart still belonged to my Claire, in the car. Claire found out I'd taken another stand-in. She shoved me out of the driver's seat and roared back to the mall. Molly hadn't left. She sat by the entrance, wringing her hands. Claire spotted her at once, nipped my lip. Sultry, this little fox lured you away? Watching her fight for me felt adorable. I nodded instantly. She smirked, slid on her shades, marched over, and slapped Molly twice. A flicker of pain tugged at me, but mostly I savored Claire's reaction. Minutes later Molly was bruised from head to toe. Claire curved a victorious smile, swayed back, yanked me out by my tie. I was drunk on that arrogance. We made out right there on the sidewalk. Molly limped off in the opposite direction, face swollen. Her retreat made my chest tighten. I started to turn, but Claire cupped my jaw and kissed me harder. I was already hard. I scooped her up, tossed her into the back seat, and drove home. That night she told me over and over how much she loved me. I answered her just as fiercely, just like old times. Claire sent away every stray I brought home, slaughtered small animals for sport. I paid to bury every big mess. The little ones I let land on Molly. Claire grew more jealous by the day, so I kept petting Molly in front of her. Watching her rage soothed me. Her new hobby became torturing Molly. Sometimes she invited me to join. Of course I played along, anything for my love. One morning after another fight with Claire I went to Molly for release. She was gone. I raged, scoured the world, didn't even bother soothing Claire. She had vanished. The more docile Claire grew, the duller she felt. I started craving Molly instead. 3 years later my detective spotted her on the street. I killed the conference and sprinted over. I really saw her. Elated, I grabbed her arm. She shook me off. You've got the wrong person. I'm Molly. My heart cracked. Then I noticed the man beside me who looked like me, and light flared again. Couldn't forget me. So you found a stand-in? She said he was her first love. She dared use me as a stand-in. She stuffed a check into my hand, my mother's payoff. They'd humiliated me. Days later Claire whined, that bitch Molly hit me. It clicked. I clamped my hands around Claire's throat. If Claire hadn't bullied Molly, she'd never have left. 3 days on, Claire disappeared. Her parents called the cops. No one suspected me. Back home visiting mother, fury kept rising. It was all mom's fault. If not for her, Molly would still be mine. I beat mother bloody. Sure enough, Molly showed up. I tailed her to the hospital, dragged her into my car. This time I would own her. The stand-in burst in, smashed my window. Too many witnesses. I let them go. In the basement, I punished Claire until she bled. A month later, I found a camera stuffed with Molly's photos in Claire's car. I switched to a number she hadn't blocked and texted her. She took the bait. While I was breaking Molly in, the stand-in barged in again. We rolled, fists flying. If I can't have her, no one will. I dragged him toward the stairs, but safety mats had been laid below. The day they locked me up I swore, the moment I'm out, they'll all pay.